This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, friends. Welcome to GoOnlineTrainings.com. So, we are talking about SQL commands, right? So, we had seen how to create a table, how to create a database, and how to drop them, and how to insert the data, delete the data, update the data. And we also spoken about how to use commit and rollback. Okay, now let us understand some more points today. Let me go back to SQL Server and I wanted to I wanted to say use company. I wanted to create one more table. Use company. That means what? I'm going to be creating my table in my company database. Clear? So one new table I'm going to be creating now is create table, say product table. Okay, so at the end normally we put go. Use company means I'm going to be creating my table inside company database, and I'm writing create a table product, say product id, which is integer primary key. I wanted to show you today identity column. Okay, identity means what? Identity means arithmetic number. Starting number is 1, increment by 1. So this is a seed followed by you have increment or decrement. So this is increment. When you say starting number is 1000 and when you say -1, it is a decrement. Starting number is 1000, the next number would be 999, something like this. I wanted to have 1 comma 1. Clear? So this is what is called seed and increment. If you don't specify anything, by default seed is 1, increment is also 1. You can also write like this. Let me mention like this. Okay. So which is automatic number, integer. Primary key means what? Primary key means no duplicate data is allowed, no null values are allowed. Clear? So this is the database I'm going to be using. Then product name. Product name, I wanted to have varchar 100. Okay, not null. Then I'll say quantity in hand. Let me say integer and null. And null means we can also provide a default value. Default value is 0. Right? So null means it is a blank value, but I wanted to have null as a default value. Then I wanted to have unit price of the product. Okay, unit price is money, so I wanted to have this as a not null, something like this I have created. Clear? Very simple table I have created. Let me execute. When I execute, you should be able to find out a table here. The table is called as the product table. Select star from the product table. Okay, select star from the product table. So I'm going to use this table. So I have created this table. If you wanted to drop this table, how to drop it? So drop table, table name. So that's it. If you wanted to drop the table, you can say drop table, table name and go. You can drop the table. So you can see one table, refresh it. You will be able to find out a table called product table. Clear? So if you wanted to drop it, you can drop it. So when you refresh it, this table will not be shown because there is no table there. Clear? So now I wanted to have this table. I don't want to drop it. I wanted to create this table, create it. Now after creating, I wanted to find schema of the table. Okay. sp underscore help table name. What is the table name? Table name is called product table. So with quotations, without quotations, doesn't matter. So this is what I wanted to have it. So let me show you what is this table all about. This table is having or created so and so date. It is having these many columns and these are the data types. And money, I did not specify the length. For integer also, I did not specify the length. If somebody asks you what is integer size, you should know it is 4 bytes. Clear? And money is 8 bytes, and which is a primary key and identity column. So product ID is identity. Okay, let me magnify it so that you can clearly see this. Okay, now see this clearly. Product ID 1 comma 1. 1 comma 1 means what? CD is 1, increment by 1, and it is having one primary file group and one index. When you come this side, it has one default and one primary key. Default means what? If you don't provide any value there, automatically default value will be taken as a 0. So in case of a null, null means if you don't supply any data to this column, default value is taken as 0 or 1, whatever you give. If you give 1, it'll be taking 1. If you give 0, it will be taking as 0. Clear? So this is how you can create identity column. So whether the table has identity or not, how do you check? You have to execute this command. What is the command? The command is sp underscore help product name. When you execute it, it is going to give you whether this has identity property or not. Clear? It has. So let me go back. Now I wanted to read the data. For reading purpose, we're going to be using, right? Select star from the product table. Now I don't want to drop the table, but if you wanted to drop the table, so this is the command, drop table name. I don't want to drop it. I wanted to insert some data. Clear? So what is the command? Insert into table name values. Now the first value we should not provide because automatically the number is going to be inserted by SQL Server. Product name, let us say product name is called pen, and the quantity I need is 1000. Each pen is $10. Clear? Let me execute this. Now read it. You should be able to find out one is a starting number. Have you seen this? So I did not just provide the identity column value here. I wanted to insert one more product called pencil. I need 2000 and each pencil cost is $7. And I wanted to show you the next product so you can read the data. So you have pen and pencil like that. You can show some products. So Lux is next product. I wanted to have 450 product soups, and the cost of the product of Lux is, let me say, this is the product. Some name I'm providing like that. You should be able to provide some values. I wanted to have Dove soup. So Dove soup, I need, let us say, some 120 soups I need. Each uh, soap is cost me, let us say, $61, right? So I want to insert this. Now you should be able to get this value. So the next one is for automatically, which is inserting the data. Clear? So primary key identity means automatically numbers are getting inserted. If you give starting number is 1000, increment by -1. So when you insert the data, you will be able to find out like this. Am I clear? So you can start with starting number is 1999 like that. 998, 997 like that. You're going to be getting it. So I don't want to start with this, but you can try while practicing. Give different things and try to practice them. And now this is the data, I have it. I wanted to delete all the data. Okay. Now, before deleting it, I wanted to get latest value in identity column. Okay. So there is a command called select @ identity. So which will give you the last inserted. You can say last inserted identity value. Okay. Last inserted identity value. This is going to give you the last one is 4, because if you see this, you should be able to see the last number is 4. Okay. The last inserted identity value, if you want to find out, you can use this. Am I clear? So this is how you should be able to work with this. Now I wanted to insert one more value. Let us say I wanted to buy Cadbury chocolate. Okay. Cadbury chocolate is, I need, let us say, some 300 pieces, and each one is 24 bucks. So I wanted to insert some data here. Now, what is the last inserted value? You can see in this last inserted value is 5. Okay. So if you execute this command, you should be able to 5 last inserted value. Clear? So after that, I wanted to delete all rows from the table. So how to delete? Delete from the table name. What is the table name? Table name is called product. Okay, I wanted to delete all the tables from there, all the rows from this table. So I have these many products now. The last value is 5, and these are the products. Now I am trying to delete everything. If you wanted to delete everything, this is the command: delete from the table name. Let me delete it. Okay. So even though I deleted, I don't have any data, but people may ask you, what was the last inserted value? You don't have anything here. Okay, you don't have anything here. So I wanted to have last inserted value. Even though you deleted, it is showing you as 5. Remember this. Clear? Now, let me insert my old data again. Okay. I wanted to insert these 3 rows once again. Inserted. Unfortunately or fortunately, the old numbers are not repeated. Have you seen this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 was there. When you delete the data, the next number is 6, 7, 8. So when you see what is the last inserted value, it is 8. Now I wanted to again delete all the data. Deleted. Last inserted value is 8. Now I don't have any data here. Now I wanted to again execute all these things and insert all the 5 rows inserted at a time. Now let me see. The next value is 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So when you delete the data, one minus point of identity column is if you delete any row, that will not going to be inserted again. That means the same number is not repeated in the identity column. For example, I have the last value is 13 and 12 and 13. I would like to delete the only one row. Delete from product where product ID equals to 13. Let me delete only one row, not all the rows, and read the date. So I'm able to see 12 rows. But if you see, select identity value, it is telling me last value is 13, but that got deleted. Clear? Again, if you insert the same Cadbury chocolate again, what happens now? It is going to be giving you the last value is 14, and the last value will be like this. So 12 and 13, 14, 13 is missing. So when you delete the data, when you delete a row, what happens? You will have a lot of gaps in identity column. So this is the minus point about identity column. Clear? If you delete a row and insert the same row once again, you don't get the same number, you get a different number. You will find out a lot of gaps. Gaps means, so 12 is there, 13 is not there, and 14. There's a gap in between. Clear? Why? Because there is a delete operation is happened. Clear? So that is one minus point about identity property. When you delete the data, you don't get the same number again. Clear? So how do you fill the identity column? For example, I wanted to manually insert 13. Can I do that? The answer is yes. So how to do that? Please Google it and let me know by tomorrow. Clear? So I wanted to fill in the data, fill in the gaps, okay? Fill in the gaps in identity column. So you just Google and let me know your answers by tomorrow. Create this table, how to insert 13 or how to insert 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 manually. Clear? We cannot insert something manually here, but there are a lot of things that can be done to insert the data manually. Then again, you can switch on the identity column insert. Clear? So how to fill in the gaps in identity column is a interview question. Please Google it. So go to Google and ask how to insert, how to insert manually data in SQL Server identity column. That's it. Or how to fill in gaps in identity column. So you should also learn how to use the Google, right? So if you get any kind of a question, so you should also know go to Google. You should be able to ask it. Okay, how to what is the command to do that? So slowly you will also learn from the Google. Am I clear, guys? And this is very, very important. Now, what is the last inserted value? It is now 14. Now, if you wanted to see the complete data, you can see. Clear? Now, what I'm trying to do, let me remove this. I wanted to delete all rows using truncate command. So we are talking about deleting only all rows using which command? Truncate command. So there is a truncate command here. Create, alter, drop, truncate. Clear? What is a truncate? A truncate it is DDL command which is going to be used to delete all the data. Okay. So what is the need for truncate? So need for truncate is if you wanted to delete all the data, delete all rows, not one row. If you wanted to delete all the rows, then use truncate command. If you wanted to delete a row by row or a single row or a few rows, we can go in for delete command. Okay, so delete command, truncate command, both of them can be used to delete the data, but especially if you wanted to delete all the data, delete all rows, then use a truncate command. You can also use delete command. So if you wanted to use or delete all the data means you can simply say delete from this. This command will work, as well as truncate command also will work. So how to delete the data, all the data with the help of truncate command? Let me write syntax. It is very, very simple. So truncate table and table name. So this is the syntax to truncate the table. I have a lot of data here. Now the last inserted value is 14. I'm not going to be using delete. I'm going to be using a truncate. So what is the table name? Table name is called product. Okay. You can see the same table here, right? Yeah. So I can say product table. I have data. Make sure that you know this command. So I'm deleting all of them. So truncate table product. So command completed successfully. So it is clearly saying it has done its work. Now what is a truncate? Delete all rows. Okay. For this purpose only we're going to be using I don't have any data. So can you execute? Yeah, I have executed. There's no data there. Now I wanted to show you what is the last inserted identity value, that is 14. 14th is the last value. Now I wanted to insert this data once again. If I want to insert the data, so you should be able to see some data, but fortunately you are able to reset it to 1. Have you seen this? Now when I using a delete command, it is giving a gap, right? It is giving a gap. But if I'm using truncate command, it is not giving the gap. Now you can just see this clearly. Clear? So what is the value now? 1, 2, 3. So last inserted value is now 3. When you go and execute this command, last inserted value is 3. But if you delete this data with the help of a delete command, you can delete all the data. Now last inserted value is this. Now if you insert the same data here, F5, now you see the last inserted value is again 6. Okay, it is going to create a lot of gaps. Okay, it is creating a lot of gaps. 4, 5, 6. Now what I'm trying to do, instead of using a delete command, I'm going to be using truncate table name. Let me execute. Executing purpose, I'm pressing F5 or function F5. Okay, you can execute this. You can write F5, you can press this button, or in some laptops you need to execute these two. Okay, so function plus F5, both of them you need to execute at a time. Function keyword and F5, or in some laptops only F5 you can execute. Fn you can use it. Clear? So deleted all the data. Once again press F5 to delete the data. So I don't have any data here. Now you see I'm going to be inserting all these rows. So now you see inserted 2 rows. Last inserted value, identity value is 2. You cannot say at the rate and space. It is not going to work. So without space, all these things you must practice. And let me show you the data nowadays resetting to 1. Okay. So people would ask you, what is the difference between truncate and delete commands? Both of them are deleting the data only. What is the difference between a truncate and delete? Very, very important question. Let me explain this. It is a DML command, delete, which is a DDL command. Supports where clause, so no support for where clause. I told you clearly, if you want to delete all the data, then only the truncate command can be used, otherwise not. If I wanted to delete one row or a few rows, means only delete command can be used, because it is having a where clause. You cannot write where clause here, it is not going to work. When you write where product id is equals to 1, it is not going to work, because where clause is not supported in this. Clear? So if you want to delete all the data, then only truncate command is there in the computation. If somebody says delete all the data from the table, then you have two commands: delete from the table name, truncate table name. So both of them you can use. But many people will say, don't use delete command to delete all the data. You must use a truncate command only to delete all the data. Why? Let us understand point by point. Is a DDL and DML, and supports for where clause, no support for where clause, can delete single row, few rows, all rows, can delete only all rows. It is a logged operation. This is where the difference comes. Okay, it is a non-logged operation. What do you mean by logging and non-logging? For example, You go to a library and you wanted to take a book for reading. For example, you wanted to take a book on SQL Server. So you go to the library and you make an entry in the register. My name is Bhaskar Jogi, and I wanted to take a book called SQL Server written by Microsoft. And I wanted to take this book and return date. So when is that I wanted to return this book? After 1 week, and signature. That's it. So a logging entry is done on the register, then only that book I can take it to my home, right? So otherwise, the librarian is not going to allow me to take the book. I need to go and write the entry. If I wanted to take one more book, again same entry, Bhaskar Jogi. I wanted to buy one more book called The Secret or The Rich Dad and Poor Dad. So something like this. I wanted to write the name of the book and put my signature there. And I wanted to take one more book, so I need to make one more entry. Clear? So when you're taking something out, you are making something in the logging. Why logging is important? Tomorrow, librarian knows that Bhaskar has taken 3 books, and John has taken 5 books, and Mary has taken only 1 book, and Peter has taken 5 books. Like that, he can see the complete data. Clear? So it is a logged operation, means when you delete the data, so what data deleted and who's deleted, complete information is going to be written into the log file. So we know that every database will have a log file and data file, right? So in the second video, I clearly spoken about log file and this file, right? So log file and data file. It is going to be, it is means SQL Server is automatically logging. So it is saying this row has been deleted, this row has been deleted, this row has been deleted. If you delete 1,000 rows, 1,000 entries are made in the log file. Who's going to be making? SQL Server automatically. So there are 2 operations are going to happen. One is that deletion, one more is entry. Row will get deleted, one entry also will be made. If you delete 1,000 data, 1,000 delete operations and 1,000 inserts also can happen, or 1,000 logs, updates also will happen in the log file. Have you seen the issue here? If you delete 1 million data, so your log size also will get increased. Clear? For example, you wanted to take all the books from the library, you have a permission, so you need to write for each and every book name. This book taken by Bhaskar. This book also taken by Bhaskar. So you need to mention one by one, one by one, one by one. If you take 1,000 books, 1,000 entries are made in the logbook. So that is what is the bad about the delete command. Clear? So whenever you delete some data, insert some data, automatically logs are getting updated. Clear? So when you delete huge number of large number of records or rows from the table, when you use a delete command will become very, very slow. Why it will become very, very slow? For each row it is deleting, it has to make an entry in the log book. So when you're taking a book from the library, you need to go to the log and make an entry. And if you take the second book, make one more entry. If you take the one more book, make one more entry. So if you take 3 books, 3 entries you need to make. Clear? So if you delete 1,000 rows, 1,000 delete operations have to happen, plus 1,000 entries have to be done in the log. So who's going to be doing this? SQL Server automatically. SQL Server is going to enter the log automatically. You're not going to be entering. You simply say delete from the table name. That's it. So SQL Server as to do lot of circus behind the scenes. Because of that, the logging, because of logging is there, it will become very, very slow. Though 1,000 records may be deleted in 1 minute, but when you have a 1 million record to be deleted, so it will take a lot of time. It is a time consuming process. And one more thing, it is, it can be rolled back. For example, when I'm writing this book I'm taking, this book I'm taking, this book I'm taking, if if librarian says that you need to return this book today, so how come library knows that I have this book? Because you can go to the the book, the log table, log book, in the library, he can find out the secret book is taken by Bhaskar Jogi. He has to return it. Roll it back can be done very, very easily. Clear? So why are we writing everything in the logbook? Because we know who has deleted, who has the data. I want to return the book. Roll it back means get the data back again. So I can get it the from the log file. But here it is a non-logged operation. What is the meaning? It is also logging, but not heavily. It is simply say Bhaskar Jogi is taking 1,000 books. Bhaskar Jogi signature. That's it. He is not going to be entering a book name by book name, book by name by book name. He is not going to be doing like this. He is going to be entering the logbook saying that Bhaskar Jogi taken 1,000 books, so and so date and signature. That's it. So minimally logged. If you take 1,000 books and 10,000 books or 1 million books at a time, if you're deleting 10 million data as well, it is not going to be saying deleted the first record, taken the second record, taken the third record, not like that. It is going to be entering only one statement saying that deleting 1 million records from the product table. That's it. So only minimally logged, or people will say no logging is done. Okay, so no logging is the bad word. So minimal logging is done. So in case of delete, a log, one row will get deleted and one entry is made in the logbook. Second row is deleted, second entry is made in the logbook. So here they delete 1 million data also, one entry only made minimally, or no logging is done. Because of no logging, it is very, very fast. Clear? So truncate command is very, very fast. Cannot roll back. So he did not have the complete details. Who has taken the secret book or Rich Dad Poor Dad, or some books like that. So who has taken no clue at all. If you wanted to get the books back means you don't have any clue, because you're simply saying taking 1,000 books from the library. So which book you have taken, nobody knows about it. So it is not clearly mentioned in the logbook. Because of that, rolling back can be very, very difficult. So why are we deleting the data? Because I don't need. Why you want to again roll it back? Why you want to again get it back? So that is useless, right? So anyhow, I am deleting the data because I don't need the data. Why will I ask SQL Server to roll it back? Clear? So I don't want to have anything like that. So that is also one more point. It does not reset the identity value, it resets the identity value. It invokes triggers, it does not invoke triggers. So triggers we'll see later. More log space is required, less log space is required. Clear? So these 3 points are very, very important. What is the difference between delete and truncate? What is the difference between a primary key and a unique key? What is the difference between, people would ask these type of questions. So this question is heavily asked. Delete is slow command, of truncate is fast command. Both of them are used to delete all the data, and the truncate command is faster compared to delete command, because it's not going to log anything in the log. Because of that, log space is not you know not more space is not required, something like this. And here log file should have more and more space, and it is completely logged operation. It is non-logged operation, or you can say minimal log operation. It is slower, it is faster. It can be rolled back, it cannot be rolled back. These are the important points that you must say. Along with that, we can also say it does not reset the identity value. You will have a gap in this, but it resets the identity value. More log space is required, blah, blah, blah. Clear, guys? It's very, very important command, guys. Truncate means it's going to be, resetting, but that is not the important point. Important point is it is truncate command is faster, and because non-logged operation, and you cannot roll it back. These 3 points are important. Clear? Yeah. I don't have any data now. If I wanted to insert the data, I can use it like this. Now I wanted to show you some more things now. We are talking about a default value, right? So there is a default value syntax we had given. So let me show you how to get the default value as well. To give the default value, so now let me take something here, and I wanted to have, let us say, little soap. Some soap I'm writing. So I need, let us say, 345, and each soap cost you, let us say, $45. Now, what is the null value? The null value is this is the null value, right? So this is mandatory. This is mandatory value. This is mandatory, and this is the null value. So we're inserting 1, 2, 3. The second value is not important. Okay. So I can say you can give null like this. So little, but the quantity I don't know as of now, but each product costs you $45. So you can specify null not in the quotes. Remember this, you should not give like this. Null means a blank value. I don't know what is the quantity, you can give like this. When you insert the data, so you supposed to get. Go is not compulsory, but let us discuss what is a go later. So automatically you are able to get null. But I told you instead of a null, we supposed to get a 0. But if you mention null, you're not going to get the default value like that. So that is not the syntax. Clear? So no default value is provided with the syntax. Let me give one more. Okay. I can say, I want to say, let us say one more soap, rinse soap, and I want to give a blank value like this. Okay. And each value is, each rinse soap is this much. I have given you a blank value. Now let me execute this command. Okay. When I execute this command, when you see the data, now you're able to get a 0. Have you seen this? You're able to get the 0. So this works fine. Clear? So here you are able to see a default value as well here. So in this, default value is provided. So you need to use this syntax. Or you can also use one more syntax called explicit insert. What is that? So what do you mean by that? Let me explain. So insert into values. I don't want to insert in this column because aren't automatic number. In this, I wanted to have some value. Let us say I want to buy a laptop. So HP Lappy, I want to buy it. So I don't want to give this value because it is null. So I don't want to supply the value, and it is going to be costing me, let us say, $1,000 or 1,000 rupees, whatever it is. So I don't want to insert the data here because it is automatic number, and this value I'm supplying here, and this value I don't want to supply, and this value I would like to have it. So I can give only value to this and value to this, and this I don't want to supply because which is a null value. When I execute it, will it work? It is not going to work. It is telling me column name or number of supplied values does not match the table definition. There are 4 columns and you are supplying 2 values. So SQL Server is confused. So it can add insert like this. You need to clearly say to the SQL Server, SQL Server is getting confused. You're having 4 columns. You're supplying this data and this data. Where should I insert? Should I insert into the first column, second column, third column, fourth column? I don't have any clue because you have supplied. There are 4 students. I have given 2, fruits, banana and apple. So if I give like this, you will ask me, what is this? You have, there are 4 students. You're giving You're supposed to give 4, but you're giving only 2 fruits, and whom to give this? So the column names explicitly should mention, you have to say product name. Okay, so product name will get this value, and the last one, unit price, will get this value, because this is a null value. Clear? So the next one is this. This is what is called explicitly you are telling this column will get this value. This value means complete value, and the unit price will get this value, and the first value is automatic number. The next value means the price is the null value. Clear? You can mention like this. So when you mention like this, you will also get what is called as a default value. You're inserting only in the non-identity columns and not null columns. Remaining things you are leaving it. You are completely mentioning the column names. This is what is called explicit insert. Clear? And if you don't specify anything, these inserts are called as implicit inserts. Okay, these are called as implicitly. So all the values are providing here, you are not telling anything clearly to the SQL Server. We have implicit insert and we have explicitly. We supposed to tell the product name is this, unit price. You can also say in the reverse order. For example, I wanted to insert, let us say phone costing me, let us say $400, and I want to buy Apple iPhone 12 Pro, something like this. Now I reverse this. So in this also I need to reverse it. Unit price, comma, product name. So you are going to be having unit price is 400, Apple iPhone 12 Pro is the product name. So you need to reverse the column names and values as well. So you can say like this. Now perfectly the data will get inserted. So Apple iPhone, and you're able to get the default value as well, and 400. If you reverse something in this year, and you should also reverse the same values in this context. These are called explicit insert. You should be able to have the defaults here. So you will be able to get defaults very, very easily. Clear? If you mention null, default is not going to come at all. Clear? So what syntax you must use, that you need to know clearly, guys. Otherwise, it is very, very problem for you. Clear? So this is the a complete thing that we wanted to have. Clear? So if you wanted to create any column, you can also create a separate column. So that is where we are going to be using. So alter means I wanted to modify something. I would like to add something. I would like to delete something. Delete means adding an extra column, dropping the existing column, modifying something. If you wanted to do any alteration, so alter command can be used. Clear? So if you wanted to add a new column to the table, so this is the table I have now. Let me take this. So I say use company. Now I wanted to say execute this. I would like to add one more column. I would like to add one more column to the table. So this is adding a column to the table. So this is where we are using alter command. So alter table, table name, alter table name, add column name and a data type. If you wanted to do anything, simply you Google it. That is the better way, because you don't remember the syntax tomorrow. You can write. So I wanted to add new column in SQL. In SQL means SQL Server. So in MySQL, PostgreSQL, Oracle. So they'll give you syntax. Add a new column in SQL. So you will be able to see SQL alter table statement by some website, W3 Schools. So it's clearly telling me SQL Server alter table. So how to alter add column? So alter table name, add and column name data types. That's what I told you. So now let me give you, this is my table. I wanted to add one table. Okay. So alter table. So what is that I wanted to add here? So I wanted to have a product rating. Sorry. Table name is called product, and the column name is called product rating. So the data type is integer or tiny int. Tiny int means which is a small number. So what is the rating of this product? So I wanted to have like this. Now this is one more column got created. Now how do I insert the data into this column? I cannot use insert. Insert means complete row. You have to update the data. Clear? So how to do that? So this is the command. Add column name is rating, data type is tiny int. So I wanted to update the data only. So we know the command update product table. Okay. Set. What is the column? Column name is rating. Rating is number 2 rating for whom? For product ID is equals to 1. Okay. So you should be able to execute like this. Now you see the date. Okay. So this product rating is 1 or 3. For the second product, the rating is also 2. For the rest of the products, that means greater than 2. Okay. The rest of the products, the rating is 1. Like that, you should be able to update each and everything, and you can have them here. So this is the product rating I had given. So this is the command. You can use it. If you wanted to alter and add a column, I wanted to say drop a column, delete a column, or drop a column, drop a column from the table. Okay, so we can say alter table name. You can say drop column, and here column name. The same thing you can have them here as well. Drop a column in SQL Server. So you can say W3 SQL is very good one. So draw alter table customers and drop a column name. What column name you wanted to drop? Clear? So table name is called product table. Okay. So you have lot many columns. Which column you wanted to drop it? I would like to drop unit price. This column. So let me go drop column unit price. So this column and the data also will go. Done. So I have dropped this, something like this. Clear? So that is not there. I would like to drop ratings column. Control C and Control V. Alter table name, drop column name. So you can execute this command. That is also gone. I want to drop quantity also. So QTY is the column name that you can use it. Okay. So it is saying alter table drop column quantity field because it is more objects. So depends on the column. Okay, it is telling me there is a constraint is attached, so that you cannot have it. So when you go for sp underscore help text, sp underscore help and say table name, it is clearly telling you this is having a default value. A constraint is attached to this call. What is a constraint? So this is a constraint. Default value constraint is attached to this column. So I cannot drop this column because quantity is null. I'm having a default value 0. Clear? So this is the one it is attached. I cannot drop this. So it is telling me you drop the default constraint first, then you can drop the call. Clear? So I should know how to drop a constraint, how to create a constraint. Lot of things you can say. So drop, you can say constraint. In SQL, you should know what is the, so you can say W3 schools. This is very, very easy website. So it is very simple. Alter table name, drop constraint, constraint name. Clear? So you can just execute this, copy this command and you go there. And if you wanted to drop some constraint, so this is the command. Drop what constraint? Okay, what table? Table name is called a product table. Now what is the constraint name? To get the constraint name, I told you already, everybody will have a name, right? So everybody will have a name. So when you execute this command sp underscore help, when you execute this command, you will be able to get constraint name. So this is what is called default constraint. When you come down, so default and constraint name, copy this, right click, copy. This is the constraint name and you go there, Control R to get the complete window. Now this is the constraint name, right? Alter table product, drop constraint, constraint name. So the semicolon is not important. You can put go if you want to, otherwise go is also not compulsory. Let me execute F5. Command completed successfully. Now you can just go there and try to execute this. So you see, you are not going to have the constraint that is dropped. Clear? Now you can easily drop this column. So tomorrow, if you wanted to have, how to add again constraint. So everything is available here, adding a constraint, dropping a constraint, dropping a column, dropping a table. For example, after creating a table, you can add a primary key. After creating a table, you can add identity column. After creating a table, if you have some constraints like default constraint, primary key constraint, foreign key constraint, you can add them separately, drop them separately. For example, you can say how to add a foreign key or add a constraint in SQL. SQL means SQL Server. So this is the command. So alter table, table name, add constraint. This is constraint name. You can give any name. So primary key, blah, blah, blah. You're going to be adding a primary key here. So whatever you wanted to have it, you can have it, add, alter column, alter a table. A lot of things are available here. You should be able to practice them if you want to practice them. Clear? So whatever we discussed so far, you practice them. So these are the very, very simple commands. Never ever by heart these commands. You are not here to by heart. You are here to understand what is going on here. That's it. Okay. If you don't know, Google will tell you what to write, how to write the command. Okay. You are here how to write it, not what to write it. Clear? If you don't remember this, no worries. Because if I don't teach for 1 week, again I forget. I always go to some website or some PPT, I will see the syntax. Okay, syntax by hatting is a completely bad idea. That is not the way you should learn any software, because tomorrow, if you learn one more software, new syntax is introduced. Will you be learning that syntax as well? That is waste of time. Clear? If somebody says what is insert, you should know. If somebody says what is alter, you should know. If somebody says what is a constraint, you should know. If somebody says what is the primary key, unique key, you should know it. What is a foreign key? It is not how to write a foreign key and how to create a table. So that is not very important for you. Just practice them once, because first time you're learning, you have to practice more and more. Clear? That's very, very important, guys. Clear? And if you have any questions, you please ask me. Otherwise, we are good to go. We'll see some more commands late tomorrow as well. Clear? So tomorrow we'll work with some more case studies as well. And practice is very, very important, guys. If you don't practice, the failure starts there itself. Okay, so many people wanted to go into IT industry. The problem is they only listen to the classes, they don't practice it. So that's where the failure starts. Clear? So there is a good saying. What is the learning? Learning means I hear with my eyes. Clear? So I hear with my, sorry, I hear and I practice, then I see, then I understand. That is what is called learning. Very beautiful, quotation given by somebody else. What is that? I hear, I practice, I see, I understand, then I learn. But many people, I hear, that is learning. So that is not the learning at all. Your listening or hearing is not the learning at all. So many people, what they think? So I hear, that is learning. No, I hear, I practice, I see, then I understand. That is what is called learning. Clear? So many people will fail because of, even though we are teaching courses very nicely, they don't put a lot of efforts and they don't go into IT industry. And end of the day, your parents will say, my children has done this courses, that courses, that courses, but they never got a good opportunity. The problem is not with the course, not with the trainer, with himself or herself. They don't practice much. They practice 10 minutes, 5 minutes, so they think that they know everything because they're listening, they're attending the classes. Watching the video for hours together is useless if you don't write, if you don't practice them. Clear? So practicing is very, very important, guys. You must practice and let me know your questions. Nobody is asking any questions nowadays. That means you guys are not practicing anything. There is no point. If you don't practice, you think that it is very, very simple. Nothing is simple until and unless you practice. Clear? Thank you, guys. Any questions?